Hey traders, Raghee here. Happy New Year, happy Monday. Very excited to get 2022 off on the right foot. And really the right foot today has been keeping away from a market that is affected by a bank holiday. So what are the great habits that we can start to develop and just make a part of our general routine as we kick off 2022? Well, one of them is making sure that you visit an economic calendar. Does it have to be this one? This one's Forex Factory, and that's fine. I like this one because it's a global calendar. Having futures as part of my trading life and Forex as part of my trading life, as well as ETF and stock options, it makes a lot of sense to understand, who's on bank holiday, what type of data releases happened, what are these hot zones that happened before the U.S. session, what kind of risk appetite or risk aversion mood might the market have inherited from the financial centers that have already been open. So we know that the economic calendar this week is pretty interesting as we go into this bank holiday affected North American session. We go into tomorrow's OPEC meetings. If you're in crude, heads up. We go into ISM manufacturing data at 10 a.m. Eastern, JOLTS job opening numbers. We roll into Wednesday where we have ADP non-farm and even more importantly, FOMC meeting minutes, all culminating with Friday's non-farm payroll. So pretty hectic calendar, but just very quiet today. Why? Again, bank holiday. All right, so those are some of the really good habits. What are other really good habits we can develop? Well, there's two calendars, really, you should make a habit. And the other one is Estimize. And this is the calendar that I use for earnings. We'll get into that in another free video. But same idea. What are the heavily weighted stocks in the indices and in the sectors that are liable to create volatility that I need to contend with? So that's another angle. Now, if structure precedes strategy, and if there is a huge number one most important thing that you can do as a trader in 2022, it's let structure dictate strategy. Now by structure, I will, what I use is 4 exponential moving averages, and we've color coded them so it just makes it easy to follow along. Whatever process you use to determine the underlying market environment, that is what should be the first step. So this is Charles Dow 101. Is the market heading higher, lower? Is it compressing or is it chopping? Every day, that's probably the most important determining factor to which indicators am I going to use and which strategy ultimately will I use to trade any particular symbol. And this applies to all time frames. Now, once you've done all this, you know what the hot zones are, whether it be earnings, whether it be data related. You've looked at the week, so you can kind of plan out when those volatility explosions might occur. You're taking a look at the structure of the market, so you know whether to apply a trending strategy versus a choppy strategy to the market. Well, then you can start to get into some of the additional type analysis. For example, seasonals. This is probably one of the most popular questions that I've received on the heels of December's free videos, where I talked a lot about the seasonal, the Santa, the window dressing rally, the tendencies that we see in a choppy December. And you can see December back in here, that choppiness. Well, what I've done is I've taken the 1st of Jan to the second month of the year, the 1st of Feb, and isolated what the tendency is. And this is the 5-year tendency on the NASDAQ, actually the QQQs, I believe, is what this particular, nope, it's the NQ futures. So there you go. That's the tendency. It doesn't mean that is what we're going to see, but that's the tendency. So let's take a look at another one. Let's see if we can't see what the tendency for the S&P is. So let's go pull up the ES and do the same thing. And you're going to notice there's one, it's very subtle, but right in here, that little tiny little divot, that teeny little divot before the market heads higher, that's what I'm talking about. We're going to have to be aware that there is a likelihood for this little, whatever you want to call it right there. And if that's the case, that teeny little divot, I hope I've kind of pointed it out. If that's the case, if that's what we're going to be dealing with as we are going through the very, very, very early part of this year, then let's get opportunistic on that. So that's the seasonal tendency on both the S&P and the NASDAQ, which means we want to see a little bit of a pullback. Now, what I'll do in CHOP, all right, is look at things like the slow stochastic. If this is something that you're not aware of, I talked about how to set this up just about on any platform, the settings that I use and when we use it. Notice the CHOP, the lower yellow JT multi on the NASDAQ. This is where, yes, we could absolutely be running into some sort of resistance area that could create that little divot I showed you. It's that divot that we're likely going to think about buying into. That means that I'm going to be pretty bullish for the remainder of January once we get that divot, which I'd like to see maybe on the ISM, maybe on the FOMC minutes, maybe on non-farm. Do you see how now you can take that calendar, look at the seasonal and say, well, if this is going to happen, this is the way it might sync up. I hope that this has been helpful because I get very excited about a new year. It gives us an opportunity to do it better than we did last year. And if you had a great year, congratulations. Let's make it even better. If you thought to yourself, gosh, I know I'm a better trader inside than this, maybe put some of these habits and some of these tools into practice. Everything that I've shared with you so far is except for this particular seasonal tool, which actually a version of this is free too. So everything actually that I've shared with you today, all 4 of these sites have a free version. So there's nothing you need to go get. Just, purchase or subscribe, nothing like that. Just start building some of these habits in. All right. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, come join me each and every morning over at the Charts and Coffee pre-game show, our pre-market show every morning at the Simpler Trading YouTube channel, 9 a.m., 20 minutes of Q&A. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment in the comment section. I do check it. And on the way out, smash that like button. As always, thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next update.
Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.